Hello my profane friends. Now I've seen something interesting down here, right, which is Jesus on a cross, which is quite interesting, but that was driving in, but I want to go see it. I was going there anyway just to decode it, but look at the interest in this. Can you see the fleur de pistol? You see, it tells me it's Masonically owned. Obviously this is an Omega sign in the middle, yeah, and then obviously you got the pyramids as usual with your Jachin and Boaz. See what I mean? Your three pyramids, and again all the wind, you know, I ain't got to go into it, you know the score. You know, you got the squares within the squares, look, and then you got your three this side, three that side for 33 degrees, and again you've got your little pyramid with your circle in it, look, and there's a point within a circle, blah 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 blah. Okay, well, I did find this. I'm now going to take you to something interesting what I found anyway, but again it just shows you how Masonically it's owned. Look, see the owl? Say no more about that one, shall we? Below the pyramid. Okay, but this is what I'm on about here. What's this? Are you ready? Can you see the points within the square? Look, you see it, look, on the building here. Again, look, you see the sun hieroglyph, look, you see? I'll do it on this one actually. The sun hieroglyph, look, you see? You got the sun hieroglyph, then you got the two X's you put together that give you the square and the calm piss. See? Point within the square, you know what I mean? And then obviously you got your Masonic arches, what give you the pyramids again, you know, pyramids, your Masonic arches, and then, you know, oh baby, it's so exciting. In fact, what they've done on that one, look, on the actual door, can you see it? Let me show you, my profane friends, what they've actually done on the door. Look, they've been so kind to put their hieroglyph for their all-seeing eye God within the pyramid. You see? How interesting indeed. So, and again, here's the Omega sign, look. Who do you think owns that? Look, see the circle within the Omega sign? But no one knows it, they don't understand it, they don't recognise it. You know? Crazy, isn't it? Madness. Absolute madness. Again, look, there's your Roman configuration. Again, it's empty, look, because they decide if it's empty or not. All of this is empty, do you know what I mean? Crazy. But the interesting, look, can you see it, look? The HS, look. Don't know if it's IHS, imitate, Hess and Set, or Seth, whatever his friggin' name is. Then you got your obelisk there, look, with your unicorn, and a couple of Masonic seagulls flying around it. You know what I mean? How wonderful. But this is what I will show you over here. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Right. Watch this, my profane friends. Let me get across there. 2 seconds. Oh, that's it. Power, power, power. Power. Here we go. Quick. There we go. Wonderful. I got across. That was lovely. Oh. Now, let me get over here. Watch this. You're going to love this, I tell you. But again, look at the pyramids on here. Look. Who do you think owns all this? With all these pyramids, look, and the world domination ball on top. That signifies something to the Masonic ranks, yeah? That's what it's all about, you know? You know, they own it all. That's like this place here, look. It's a big waterfront, yeah? But what do we see? See the symbolism of it all, look? See the three little pyramids under each side for 33 degrees. Then you got your big pyramid there. See? And then you got your keystone with the Masonic arch. You know what I mean? They own all of that, you see? Those Freakmasons. And this is what I want to show you here. This is really strange. Let me have a look. Alright, without getting run over, of course. I think it was here. Yeah, that is, look. See, look, the Highland Railway Company, which is Masonically owned, but can you see Jesus there, look, on the Bible, see? And then beside that, you have the Masonic sheep that carries the flag. I can't remember its bloody name now, but again, it tells me it's a Masonic ownership. Wait there, scroll out a bit if I can. I wouldn't scroll out, well, I wouldn't scroll out, oh, there you go. And then across here, look, you've got the Masonic arch with the Omega sign in the centre. But there's Jesus, look, or the book of the Bible, look, you see, and it belongs to the Highland Railway Company. See, and it gives you the two families of the heraldry of who owns it. Obviously it's an eagle, you know what I mean? But again, that's what owns this place, you know. Again, it's all Freakmasonry. And you got your Masonic urns up here, look. Oh, so you got your Masonic urns. So who do you think? Oh, this is the insurance group. Typical. They insure you all right, and if your insurance is spot on, they're going to run you over or kill you, you know what I mean, and take all your wonderful money. But that's what that's all about, you know what I mean. Who's smoking that silly weed? But that's what that is there, look. You know, they own it. They own it all. I mean, look at this, look. Who do you think owns that pyramid? See? There's a Freakmason there, look. I think the Dunedin guard or wherever he is. Dunedin. But yeah, absolute craziness. The way they own it. I mean, look at this here. Look, who do you think owns this? Wait a minute, let's go. Look, we'll run over. Cool. Right. Just down here, look. See? Look at the pyramids that go all the way down there. Look, all these pyramids. Look at the real estate of it all. Again, it's all 6, 6, blah, blah, blah. And you've got your keystone with your Masonic arch. All of that is owned by Freakmasonry. And whether people are going to live in there or reside in there is down on them. Do you see what I mean? Not on you. And then you've got this place here. Look, you see it? Look, 6 windows, 6 windows. 3 Masonic arches. You see what I'm saying? 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. My profane friends. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. See? 3 levels. Look. 2 windows, 2 windows, 2 windows, 2 windows, 2 windows, 2 windows. 6, 6, 6, 6. 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6. You see, my profane friends? They love it. You know what I mean? And they own all of this. And whether people are going to live in it or reside in it, then you've got your key. You got your, again, you've got the hieroglyph up there. Look with your circle, the Omega. You see? Capstone missing off the top. But that's what it is. That's what you're dealing with all the time. Yeah. Monstrosity, Masonic monstrosities of what they own in every town and city, and we control none of it. We have a say in none of it. It's got nothing to do with us. Again, these little signs here that, you know, again, the keystone with your Masonic arch, yeah. But look at the little, you see the 3 points there, it's a Masonic cube. Again, what does it, you know, it's the Omega sign, you know, what does it represent? I don't know, I wish I bloody knew, or I'd grass them right up. You know, but that's what it is. It's all a funny handshake cue, and all these people that own all of this, you think you're going to be they're going to allow you to take it? No, you're the profane peasants. You know, and they've got a lot of people within your communities looking after them, and they're paid well. You know, they're on a retainer, you know, to keep you lot in line, so you don't take the shit away from them. You know what I mean? I presume this is a bank here, but look, can you see the upside down obelisk? Okay, then you got the Omega sign. Look, that's the Omega sign. And you got your 3. Look, you got your Jagan and Boaz within the 3 arches. Yeah. Okay, you can't beat it. You know what I mean? Again, look, you got the Omega sign, and again you've got the obelisk, which is upside down. Again, another ranking system. I presume this is a bank. But again, look, you got 3 here. Look, 3, 3, 3. You see what I mean? They're obelisks, of course. And then you got the one at the top there. See, look, with the 4 points there, the 4 make the square, and then you got the circle, square, circle. It tells me it's Masonic. You see these 4 points, what's come out, that's what make the square. You see, the square, and then the circle, circle and square, square and calm piss. I presume that's the bank. And then at the bottom here, look, instead of having circles for the hieroglyph, 1, 2, 3, they put a square there. But again, it's another ranking, you know, what tells you the person of importance, or how important he is to the wealth and the group that are within the Masonic lodge. You know what I mean? And that's what that is. You know, look, the windows here, look. Oh, 3, 3. I don't want to tape someone there. Yeah, it's all madness. They own all of this. this, all of these businesses. See the dragon? That looks like a dragon, doesn't it? See at the bottom there? Again, all of this is owned by Freakmasons, you know what I mean? They own it all. Look at all them world domination bulls on top of them buildings. Who do you think own that? Someone who's working in McDonald's? Someone who's working in Tesco's, Asda's? Do you think they own all these buildings? Hey? Do you think they own all this? No, all this real estate and all them little pyramids within pyramids. Look, you see the flare de piss on top, look, the pyramids at the top, look. All of this is owned by the Freakmasons, and they'll always own it. And they decide whether people are rich, whether they're poor, whether they're going to get a house, whether they're not going to get a house. They're going to decide who's homeless, who's going to have money, who's going to have a job, who ain't going to get a job. You know what I mean? It's all decided by the Freakmasons, and they just do it by hiding their Masonic aprons behind suits and uniforms. Look, there's the heraldry, look. See, this family here, when they get in trouble, call on other families that owns this real estate, you know what I mean? Look, you see the circles, look, you see the circles, look, you see them, look? 3 circles make a square, you know what I mean? It's all Masonic symbolism, and you can see here, look, these are squares, look, these are squares, these are pyramids, squares, pyramids, you see? It goes right across, and again, if I come back, doesn't matter what side you look, it's all the bloody same anyway. See, look, 1, 2, 3, look, 3 keystones. Let me scroll out a bit. 3 keystones, look, 3 windows. 3 windows, do you know what I mean? Then you get your single, and you've got 3, but look at this, look, watch. Where is it what I was looking at? Yeah, there it is. See the hieroglyph for the all-seeing eye, look? See? That's what that is, look, the hieroglyph for the all-seeing eye with the circle, look, you see? That go all the way across there. See? Again, denoting another ranking to the person that owns this. And whether people live in there or reside in there is all down to the Freakmasons. Do you see what I mean? Whether they allow you to live in there. You know what I mean? But it's all empty. No one's living in there. But there's plenty of hope, like the fella over there. Look, he's homeless, I reckon. Whether he is or not, I don't know. I can't say. But they could put a flat in there and put him in, so he's got his home and he's got a place to live. Do you know what I mean? But they keep it. They decide, because they're your landlords. And soon, when they, well, I was going to say soon when they control, they already control it all. Because if you look at my Masonically owned hotels and all of that, you know, when that thingy hit, everyone got homed, didn't they? Now look at the pyramids here, look. See, what do you think? What do you think? The Masonic urns, look, you see? And then the big pyramid there, look, you see? Who do you think owns all these, look, with these different urns, you know? Look here, look, you see? Pyramid, Omega, pyramid. See? 3 levels, of course, there's always 3 levels, and three arches, look, 3 keystones. See? They own it all. But this time, instead of, look, it's 3 windows, 3 windows, 3 windows, will give you the Masonic 9, you see? Oh, it's so exciting. Oh, and then the arse steered. But there you go, it's wonderful. Right, I don't know, I'll just go from here, I reckon. Are you on the square, sir? Are you on the square?
Square?
On the square, yeah, Freemasonry. No?
No.
No, good, I love you, you're the best. No Freakmasons, remember that. Thank you. But that's what it's about, you see, and you can spot a profane person all day long, you know what I mean? Masons don't even consume nothing, because that's all their own businesses anyway. Why would they need the money, you know what I mean? When they own it anyway. See?
I don't know anything about bank holidays.
I mean, who owns this building, do you think? With that big pyramid there, York House, with a big keystone, which is an obelisk, you know what I mean? What do you reckon? Hey? Crazy, innit? You know what I mean? Absolute crazy. Look at the pyramids. Look, you see the square within the pyramid? Obviously it's 3 pyramids, but see the 2 squares or triangles within the pyramids, look, you see? And then here again, oh, it's quite interesting actually. Again, you've got the hieroglyph there, look, with the square in it. So again, it's another ranking. What that ranking mean or says or whatever, I don't understand it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there it is. Just get it better. But again, if you look at the windows, they're all 6, look. I don't know if you can see it. We get out 6, 6, 6. Crazy, innit? You know what I mean? These Freakmasons know no bounds within your community. In fact, look, they've even put the diamond within the jacket and the Boaz. That's all right, thank you very much. Ah, you're so polite, have a great day. And again, more symbolism here, look. See, more symbolism. What does it mean? What does it rank? What does it denote? I ain't got a freaking clue, you know what I mean? So, but it's all that diamonds, look. It's all diamonds. You see the diamonds, look? All built in, but no one would recognise it. And again, the front of the building, look, the entrance, which is Live Sports, which they own anyway. Can you see the hieroglyph, look? I don't know if you can see it. See the hieroglyph, look? You've got the diamond, and that's the hieroglyph. Normally it's a circle, remember, but it's the all-seeing eye hieroglyph. And again, is that a marking, you know? What does that marking mean? What does it mean? What is in there? What does it denote? Do you see what I mean? In fact, what they've done, snidey little buggers, they put a dot in that one. Look. Again, what does it mean? Where is it? The dot. There's a dot on that one. Look. You know, what does it mean? I don't know. I just know. Oh, they've done it. Yeah, they have. Look, look, look. Yeah, they've done it. Look, they did it as well. Look, look. See, hieroglyph of the all-seeing eye, which is the diamond one. Yeah, established in 1852. What's the other one? Look, the circle. Look, you see, the circle, the square, the circle, the square. Squares, circles and pyramids, you see. How wonderful, and do that for us so we can understand it. But the ranking system, you see, that's what that is. It tells that, you know, it's a very high ranking Freakmason that own this, you know what I mean, obviously, because it's got diamonds within the pyramids, you see what I mean, look. See, diamonds within the pyramids, so it's a very high ranking Freakmason, I know that. You see. What that mean? Pure Masonic, that's what that is. Again, look, these are little obelisks, look. You know what I mean, with no capstone, but that's what they are, that's what they are. They're obelisks with no capstone on. You know, the 9 windows here, look. 9 windows, and then you've got your pyramid, and then you've got the hieroglyph of the all-seeing eye, look. See, that's what that is. Pyramid again, usual. But that's what that is. It's all, you know, 6 windows, look, 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, you know, absolutely madness, but no one understands it. They all happily go along with it, and it doesn't matter that all the Freakmasons own everything and we'll own nothing. It's great, isn't it? Wonderful. But there you go. What can I say? You know, all the old trinkets, see, it's all consume, consume, consume. You know what I mean? Pure consume. Well, there you go, my profane friends. I've had a little walk around. Look at that, look. Look at the clock, look. You see the clock, look? It sits within the square with the pyramid above. You know what I mean? Look. You see the Masonic urns here, look? With the circles, look. You see? Within the squares. Madness. You know? All these pyramids, look. Let's keep the rain off, that is. That's what that pyramid's there for. Done by design. And then you got the Omega sign, look. The Omega sign again, and away you go. And we're back at the, well, I presume that's a church, I don't know what it is, but it's a monstrosity, whatever it is, and it's friggin' Masonic. And again, look, as I said, it's 3, 2, 3, which makes the square, and can't piss, as we know. And then each window, look, is 6, 6, 6, and same on the other side. But people don't understand it, they don't see it. You got the 3 here, look, you see? It's mad, innit? Madness. The way they get away with it, the little buggers. And like I said, that there just explains it all, doesn't it? Masonic square and can't piss, right under that dragon, look. And below them 2 pyramids, there's your square and can't piss. But no one sees it, no one understands it. No one cares, you know, but they tell you. Even this, look, is a pit. Oh, mate, look, even that is a pyramid with the all-seeing eye in it, look. Oh, baby, you know what I mean? Even that, how they've done that, which is kind of awkward, even that is the all-seeing eye, hieroglyph, look, the all-seeing eye. It's fucking mad. You see what I mean? Once you understand it and you see it, and it's there, you can't get away from it. Look, there's your square and can't piss, look. Anyway, I'll leave it there. There's your square and calm piss. Below their demon, holding the hieroglyph of the shield, and the Jackin and Boaz. But there you go, my profane friends. It's been a lovely day. Even actually, let me just get a picture of this for you guys, yeah? Just so you understand, hopefully. You know what I mean? Look at the skulls. Look at the skulls, these dogs, yeah? They're hyenas. The jackal, yeah? The jackal has got the hand on the human skull. Look. That's you, the profane, yeah? See what I mean? And then what you got here, look, you got 3 circles, look. 1, 2, 3. 3 circles make a square. Square and calm piss. Then you got the 3 here, look. You see the 3? That's the Masonic cube. You know what I mean? And that's your 6 on this side, look. Your 6 and 6 on this side, you see? Oh, it's all mad. Look, there's your little diamonds, look. You see? The jackal. You know what I mean? Oh, them little Freakmasons. That square and calm piss is pure hidden. You know what I mean? No one gets it. What is it anyway? Let's have a look. What is this? This is the Mercer Cross of Inverness. Recorded AD 1900. Sir Robert. You see, Sir Robert, whatever his name is, QCMR. Can't read the rest. But again, it's Sir. You see, Sir Lords, Dukes and Earls. So basically, he was a Freakmason. You know what I mean? And that was his heraldry. And what he did, he went around bashing people, all the peasants, stealing their lands, pigs and everything else in his name, and taking the land away that he wasn't even entitled to. Do you know what I mean? That's what they still do today. You know what I mean? These freaktards, Freakmasons, you know what I mean? But anyway, my profane friends, I'm now going to leave Rome, or is it Egypt? Maybe I'm in Greece. You know what I mean? It's got to be Greece, in it, I think. Who knows? And all these 3s, 2s and God knows what's hanging around here. Yeah, never know. Look at that poor homeless man over there in the street. Look, you see it there? You know what I mean? But they wouldn't open this building. It's empty. And they wouldn't home him in there. You know what I mean? Or put him in there. You know, or in that building there. That looks empty as well. You see what I mean? They wouldn't home him. You know? Because there's no profit in it. It's profitable for him to sit out there so the police, their brothers, can have some job to go around poking their little swords, well, their truncheons now, saying, move along, go on, off you go, get off my land. You know what I mean? Anyway, my profane friends, have a great day, and remember, I love you all. I'm now going to go look at some whiskey in this shop. I don't really drink, but I like getting to see some whiskey. I am interested in whiskey. It does interest me. It's wonderful. But look at all them pyramids. I mean, what is that? It's Rome, or is that Greece? You know what I mean? Strange indeed, strange indeed. And look, join the Masonic army. We are the compass, the point within the circle, the point within the circle. Red Lodge, Blue Lodge and the White Lodge, you see? That's what we were during the war, yeah? And if you look at the Hitler and his swastika, that is a square within the circle, see? Because they were the squares, we were the circles. Square and compasses fighting each other, you see? Compass and square fighting each other. Can you imagine that? That can't be true. That must be a conspiracy. There's no way the Germans were the squares, and there's no way the British were the compass. You know what I mean? Squares and circles. Oh, my profane friends. In fact, go look up dragon teeth. Put in tank dragon teeth, yeah? And then look at the shapes that the dragon teeth that stopped the tanks. They were cubes of 6, Masonic cubes, and they were pyramids, yeah? Put in dragon's teeth during the war, World War II, dragon's teeth, pyramids and cubes, and you see what comes up. And that's what it is, and that's on each flag. You know, like I said, the Germans were square and we were the compass, the circles. You know what I mean? And that's during the war, Masonic wars. All that death and destruction, because the people fighting that war were the profane, and they're the ones that died. And when they got rid of all them profane, all them Freakmasons, them Lords, Dukes and Earls, could then have the pick of the houses, the pick of the women, and the pick of anything they wanted. Because all the men, where were they gone? That were going to defend their women and children. They were all gone. Do you see what I mean? They did a right good number on that World War I. They did a good number on World War II. They did a good number in the Civil War as well. Do you see what I'm saying? But they say it's all for the good of the people. No, it's the good of their nation, not our nation. Have a good day.